and welcome to Razz Reviews. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Dune. Directed by Denis Villeneuve, Dune is an adaptation of the 1965 novel of the same name by Frank Herbert, and it follows the story of Paul Atreides, a prophecy chosen one type of character of a noble household where his family is forced to take ownership of a planet, Arrakis. That planet is the sole source of spice, a material that is used by the Emporium in order to facilitate space travel, and whoever has control of it has absolute power. Sound familiar? Yep. This was probably my most anticipated movie of 2021. I'm such a huge fan of the first 3 books. I haven't read the others, but I love the Paul Atreides story and saga. And there's been many attempts at adapting this storyline, but it's always been so big and so great that it was impossible to put to screen faithfully and do it justice. And then I heard that Denis Villeneuve is taking it on, and I am a huge fan of this guy, especially because of what he did with Blade Runner 2049, which still I believe is one of the best films in the last decade and one of the best sci-fi films ever made. And then the trailers came out and they were awesome. So I went into this film completely setting myself up for absolute disappointment. I was overhyped, I was overexcited, I thought it was going to be God's gift to sci-fi, and I somehow, miraculously, was not disappointed. This movie is incredible. It's exactly what I would have wanted. This is how you would adapt Dune. Like that. This movie is basically if Game of Thrones and Star Wars had a baby and the doctor delivering the baby was Blade Runner and the delivery room was playing a mashup by Tool and Pink Floyd. That's Dune. Because the source material is so complex and so intricate that it's very difficult to bring to life. You'd have to skim some of the details when you're making a movie, and those details are what makes Dune so cool. But here, Denis definitely keeps the complexity of the world, keeps the soul and heart of what Dune is all about, while introducing us to this epic, insane world with very interesting characters and a very profound storyline that just feels bigger than the universe. It's amazing. And I mean, if that doesn't sound like your thing, don't watch it. But it's totally my thing, and I loved it. I loved this movie. It's so good. So good. I mean, I don't really know where to start. Visually, this movie is jaw-droppingly beautiful. It's such an immersive visual spectacle. No way you can watch this at home. Yeah, you watch this in a normal cinema. This is an IMAX giant screen experience. The production design is incredible. It feels so real. It just absorbs you into this world and lets it wash over you. The details, they're all there. The costumes, oh my God. The ship design, the sci-fi elements, it's sci-fi porn. This is the best thing you could hope for from the sci-fi genre. A dark, slow burn, crazy fantasy world, complex interpersonal relationships, world dynamics that serve as a context for everything that's going on. All of this stuff is there. The movie is slow, it takes its time, it lets you drown into it in such a beautiful way. I have absolutely no problem with the speed of the film. Some people might find it slow because we've gotten accustomed to fast and quick, but that's not Dune. Dune takes its time. When you're looking at a wide shot of a ship landing, we stay there for so long that your eyes don't just see the ship and we move on. You see everything. You see all the details of the world and the lighting and the planet and the texture, and it just takes you in a way that movies don't do that anymore. But Dune went back to that, and it's amazing. Hans Zimmer does a soundtrack that is just beyond words. It's like, I felt the soul of it in that music. It just represents the world and the space elements versus the tribal traditional elements of Arrakis, like all together into one soundtrack. Like it's beautiful and plays such a big part in the film. Let's talk characters and actors. Everybody was awesome. I can't say a single bad thing about anybody. Everybody played the characters perfectly. Timothée Chalamet as Paul was so good. He plays this dark, contemplative side of the character in such a nice way, while still showing his inner strength and his determination is there. Rebecca Ferguson as Lady Jessica, holy hell. She has so many dark secrets and she's trying to keep so much at bay. She's gonna explode any moment, but she doesn't, and you feel she's on the edge of breaking the whole time. Oscar Isaac is amazing as Duke Leto. Skarsgård is awesome as a villain. He's disgusting and menacing and ruthless. So good as Baron Harkonnen. Oh my God, everybody was great. Josh Brolin was an absolute standout. Jason Momoa playing Duncan Idaho, my favorite character, I was nervous about his casting, but he definitely sold it. I wish his character shined a little bit more. Look, the thing about this movie that we need to understand is that it's literally just a setup of a huge story. It literally says it in the tagline. The tagline of the movie is, "It begins." Guess what you're gonna watch? Dune beginning. It's not heavy on narrative and it's mostly heavy on just setup. Setting up characters, setting up the world, setting up the universe, setting up the storyline. So you don't see much narratively. You're just immersed in this world. And it can feel overwhelming while at the same time feel like not much has happened. I can't tell you because I know what is gonna happen. For somebody like me, seeing how it's set up, what's coming is gonna be nuts. So it does require a little bit of patience, and I think that as a society of film watchers, we've lost that patience. We want everything real quick. We want a movie that is formulaic, beginning, middle, and end, with everything wrapped up so nicely in a bow, and you get everything and credits roll, and then you get an after-credit sequence. Just another kick for the ending. That's not the only way to do cinema. It definitely reminds me of Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, which also was just set up. But that was easier to digest because it was aimed at a more mass audience. So it's quite simple. They have to do the thing. So we have a direct narrative. Dune is a lot more complex than that. And it's very political, and it has so many different threads that are gonna come into play later. So I'm really hoping people who haven't read Dune would give it a chance and would stick around. This is Dune part 1 of 2. So this is literally half of the story. It's half of the first book. So going in there with that in mind, I think will help you have a better experience with the film. People are complaining, we're watching the same movie all the time. Oh, the movies are cut and paste. Well, there you go. Adaptation of an amazing novel, completely new saga, and it doesn't treat its audience like idiots, which is awesome. So please, be smart. Go watch this movie. Vote with your wallets. If you like classic sci-fi that's not aimed at children, like 2001: Space Odyssey, like Blade Runner, Dune is like that. I didn't think I'd get a movie like that in 2021, and here I am. Remember when we were watching season 1 of Game of Thrones? It was so slow, there wasn't much going on, it was a lot of setup. Remember how cool it was when all that setup paid off later? Huh? Remember how horrible it was when things wrapped up too quickly and you got a lot of payoff all at once? Yeah? Well, it wasn't fun. So I'm happy to see a film like Dune that's taking its time, that's really delving into the details, that's trying to be profound, that's trying to be more than just a blockbuster. And it's awesome. And now we have it. And I want more. And I didn't feel it was too long. I would sit through 50 hours of what I saw. I'm so glad I got to see this film, and I want to give a shout out and a big thank you to the Hero Collection and Nerd Blender who took me to an early screening of the film so I can experience it before my head exploded. So thanks a lot, guys. Give them a follow. I'm going to put their links in the description down below. And in the end, I loved Dune. It was beautiful, awesome, exactly the kind of sci-fi I love and miss, and I can't wait to see where this is going to go. And I'm going to give Dune a 9.5 out of 10. So, have you seen Dune? Are you a fan of the books? Let me know in the comment section. Avoid spoiling for people who haven't read the books. And as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and ask me what you'd like me to review for you next. See ya!